I'd like to call this meeting to order, and Terry, could we begin with a roll call, please?
Yes, Freeholder Fantasia.
Here.
Freeholder Fasano.
Here.
Freeholder Hertzberg.
Here.
Freeholder Director Patillo.
Here.
Freeholder Yardley.
Would you?
Send a text.
Yes, he's not with us this morning.
Maybe it's on mute.
No, he's not with us, Terry.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Could you please stand with us for a moment of silence and a salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I will say the numbers as we go through this meeting because I know there are people who want to speak on something that's on the agenda, and there are those that might want to speak on something that is not on the agenda. So we're on number 5, which is the approval of the agenda. Could I please have a motion to approve the agenda for November 24th?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second, please.
Hertzberg, second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
Freeholder Director, there is still background noise on the line, so can I just, again, ask that all callers mute their line?
Yeah, it's very distracting to have background noises. If we keep our lines muted unless we're speaking, it's extremely helpful. So thank you for that. Number 6 is a proclamation that we have this morning for recognizing November as National Hospice Month. Lee Ellison from Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice would be accepting. Lee, are you on the line yet? Okay, well, I'm going to read the proclamation. Whereas Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice opened the first hospice in Sussex County on April 15, 1980, and has served families in our community for more than 40 years. And whereas all people are encouraged to learn about options for care, options like hospice and palliative care, before they are confronted with a healthcare crisis, and to share such wishes through appropriate advanced care planning activities. And whereas hospice and palliative care empower people to live as fully as possible, surrounded and supported by family and loved ones, despite serious and life-limiting illnesses. And whereas hospice and palliative care bring patients and family caregivers the highest quality care delivered by an interdisciplinary team of skilled professionals that includes physicians, nurses, social workers, therapists, counselors, health aides, spiritual care providers, and others who make the wishes of each patient and family a priority. And whereas advanced care planning involves making decisions about the health care an individual would want to receive if he or she were facing a serious or life-limiting illness, or if they were unable to speak for themselves. And whereas through pain management and symptom control, caregiver training and assistance, and emotional and spiritual support, allowing patients to live fully up until the final moments, surrounded and supported by the faces of loved ones, friends, and committed caregivers, hospice and palliative care focus on quality of living. Whereas each year, hospice saves Medicare more than $2 billion by providing solutions for physicians, care to patients, and comfort to families anywhere at any time. And whereas every year more than 1.65 million Americans living with life-limiting illness and their families receive care from the nation's hospice programs in communities throughout the United States. And whereas more than 430,000 trained volunteers contribute 19 million hours of service to hospice programs annually. And whereas hospice and palliative care providers encourage all people to learn more about options of care and to share their wishes with family, loved ones, and their healthcare professionals. Now therefore be it resolved that Sussex County Freeholders do hereby proclaim November 2020 as National Hospice and Palliative Care Month, and encourage citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of care at the end of life, and to observe this month with appropriate activities and programs. By order of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, Sylvia Patillo, Freeholder Director, Dawn Fantasia, Freeholder Deputy Director, Anthony Pisano, Freeholder, Josh Osberg, Freeholder, and Herb Yardley, Freeholder. I'm sorry that someone isn't here representing the Karen and Quinlan Hospice because they have done an absolutely amazing job with bringing dignity back to those that are dying. I personally had my father was involved with Karen and Quinlan Hospice, and I can attest to the fact that the care, the love, the kindness was so comforting to my family. And what this proclamation is saying that we really need to plan for these times in our lives and the times of our elder parents in their lives so that they can receive the care that they need and that they can have the opportunity to have these amazing volunteers work with them to just enable them to get through some of these very difficult situations. So I want to thank the Quinlan family. I read their story again last night, and I remember living it and watching it and reading it when all of this was happening to their daughter. And through such a difficult time in their life, they brought so much to all of us in this decision and so much dignity back to those that are dying and can't speak for themselves at times. So once again, I want to thank them and congratulations on 40 years of service to this community. They are absolutely amazing. I'd like to move on. Is there anyone that would like to comment? I'm sorry, any freeholders want to comment on that proclamation?
Director Patillo, I just would like to say that going to their last celebration that you and I attended, it was wonderful to see the story of, how such a tragic story could turn into something that's just such a beacon of hope for so many families. And Quinlan family they're wonderful people, and we're so fortunate that they're here in Sussex County, and they're just so giving, and that we have a community that gives back, in kind. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? All right, could I have a motion, please, to accept this proclamation?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second?
Hertzberg, second.
Is there any discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, number 7 is our public hearing, our final adoption ordinance 20-06. At our regular meeting held on November 10th, 2020, we introduced for first reading the following resolution, which was advertised in the New Jersey Herald issue of November 11th, 2020, together with a notice of public hearing stating it would be held at this meeting at 9 a.m. I'm just going to ask our administrators to just speak a few minutes on what this ordinance is, because we'll be looking for public comment.
Yes, thank you, Director. This is an ordinance that implements the Chapter 12 capital project financing for the Sussex County Community College. These are a variety of capital improvements that were authorized by the Board of School Estimate in 2019. The improvements themselves include a variety of capital improvements, including computer hardware and software, furnishings and floorings, academic facility retrofits, safety improvements, including fire protection, security equipment and technology, as well as improvements to the Public Safety Training Academy.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to read the ordinance. Bond ordinance providing for the undertaking of 2020 capital improvements at and for certain facilities of Sussex County Community College located within the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $2.8 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2.8 million in bonds or notes of the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation, the principal and interest on the aggregate principal amount of which will be entitled to State A, pursuant to Chapter 12 of the Laws of New Jersey of 1971. May I please have a motion so that the public hearing can be opened?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second, please.
Second, Hertzberg.
Is there any discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 The floor is open for public hearing. Is there anyone on this call, would you like to speak regarding this ordinance? Just say your name if there's someone that'd like to be heard on this ordinance. Okay, not hearing any. May I please have a motion from the board to close the public hearing?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second, please.
Hertzberg, second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Now I need a motion that this ordinance be finally adopted and authorize the clerk to advertise this resolution as finally adopted and also post same on the bulletin board in the lobby of the County Administrative Center. May I please have a motion?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second, please.
Hertzberg, second.
Is there any discussion? Not hearing any, Chair, we have a roll call vote, please.
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo.
Yes. We're at number 8. Now, this is the first public session from the floor. We have 2 public comments. This first public comment that we're at now is for agenda items only. If you would like to be heard on an agenda item, then this is the comment session that you want to speak. Now, there's 2 issues that people have told me they're calling for today. One is for the resolution about the businesses. You can speak on that at this time, or you can wait until we come to the resolution, at which time I will read the resolution. The board will have their comments, and then I will open it again to the public. So you can either speak now or speak when we read that resolution if you're here for the businesses. If you want to talk about the Reproductive Freedom Act, that is not on the agenda. So you can speak on that at our second comment period that is at number 21. Okay, so this is the comment period now for pertaining to agenda items only. And before we open this session, we ask callers who want to make a comment to state your name and your municipality, just one after another. And then the clerk will create a roster, and then she will call each person in the order that we took your name. And your comments are limited to 3 minutes or less. Could I have a motion from the freeholders to open the floor for public comment?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second, please.
Hertzberg, second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, the floor is open to the public. Terry, would you please take the names of the people that give us their name and municipality? So if you'd like to speak now, please just speak out and give us your name and municipality so we can write it down and make a list.
Tammy Horsfield, Frankfurt Township.
Thank you, Tammy. Next.
Peggy Burns, Morris County.
Okay, next.
Diane Scanlon, Sussex County.
Could we possibly have municipalities for Ms. Burns and Ms. Scanlon rather than county identification?
Hackettstown, New Jersey for Peggy Burns.
And Ms. Scanlon?
Diane Scanlon, Opakon.
Okay, let me just say one thing. If you're here for the abortion issue,
Yes.
this is not the comment period. It's our second comment period at number 21.
Oh, okay. We thought it was 8. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we'll take Peggy and Diane off for this.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak only on agenda items?
Mark Avendolio, Andover Township.
I'm sorry, Mark, can I please have your last name again? There's background noise.
Avendolio, Avondoglio.
Thank you.
Please, if you're on the line, would you please mute your phones unless you're speaking, because the background noise can get very disturbing. Appreciate that. Okay, is there anyone else that would like to speak at this time?
Jason Fuchs, Sussex County.
I'm sorry, what was the first name?
Jason.
Jason Fuchs?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, what was the municipality?
Sussex County.
A municipality, please, if you would be so kind. Sparta?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Stacy Fry, Lafayette.
right.
Is there anyone else? Okay, not hearing any. Tammy, would you begin calling, please?
Good morning,
Our
all.
first caller, yes.
Good morning. Earlier this month, Governor Murphy restricted bars and restaurants from serving patrons inside after 10 p.m. The next day, he announced that he would allow counties and municipalities to set a curfew for non-essential businesses starting even earlier at 8 p.m. if they deemed appropriate. He also restricted outdoor gatherings from 500 to 150 people. These restrictions obviously have hurt our businesses even more, especially going into the winter season now. On behalf of many in our business community, I wanted to reach out to ask you to continue to work together with our municipalities to allow businesses to make their own decisions regarding early closure or full closure for that matter, allowing our businesses to make the choices in a reasonable way in the face of COVID-19 rather than forcing them or mandating them to close early or lock down. Government should be there to support business in whatever way they can, but should not dictate how and when a business operates. One of the first ways COVID has hit our local community and economy is through our small businesses. Many of these businesses, as you know, are in accommodation, food services, and retail trade, to name a few. Most of the businesses I know are following safety protocols and want their customers and their employees to feel safe. They know that if their customer or their client doesn't feel safe, they won't come back and their employees will not come to work either. However, many are hanging on by a thread right now, which is very fearful. And one more restriction could mean that final nail in the coffin. Our businesses want this pandemic to end, but they also want reasonable operational guidelines. Their businesses are their livelihood. Thank you for allowing me to take the time to express myself. On behalf of our area businesses, I thank you, first of all, for your support and efforts through this pandemic, because you really have worked hard. And I ask you to work together and continue to work together with our federal, state, county, and local governments to provide the support our businesses need, whether it's financially or by temporarily eliminating policies and practices that make it even harder to do business during this time. In addition, please do not place any further restrictions on our businesses now or in the near future. Please trust that they will make the right decisions and take on their businesses on their own. So thank you for this time. It's really critical at a really challenging time in our history, and it's important for our businesses to be able to continue to operate and hang on as best they can through this time until we get through this pandemic. So thank you for the time to speak, and I hope that you'll continue to support our businesses in any way you can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tammy.
Our next caller is Mark. I'm sorry.
Hi. It's Abendolio.
Thank you. From Andover Township.
Andover Township. I'm from Corona Farms, and I'd just like to echo what Tammy said in relationship to the restaurant community. It's very critical. 10 p.m. closing is not real reasonable, but we'll accept the 10 p.m. closing. We can't go back further to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And, you know, we do a tremendous amount of weddings. We've already rescheduled 353 weddings for this year, for 2020. And most of those weddings now are ending at 10 p.m. They used to end at 11 or 12 o'clock. We're abiding by the government rules to end at 10 o'clock. And there's a lot of questions out there. We've lost all the New Year's Eve weddings. We closed at the 10 o'clock curfew. Don't have any on New Year's Eve now. And I think a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the restaurants that are open on New Year's Eve would have an issue closing at 10 o'clock, and it would deter their business considerably. And maybe there ought to be a special exemption made for New Year's Eve. I don't know that you can override the 10 o'clock and go later, but I know you can go earlier. And earlier wouldn't be a good move for most of the restaurants that are suffering tremendously at this time of during the pandemic. So those are my comments, and I look forward to working with the Freeholder Board and the state in abiding by all the rules set forth.
Mark, thank you so very much for speaking today. Terry?
Our next caller is Jason Fuchs from Sparta.
Well, thank you all for this, and thank you for your service. Tammy said it the best. the restrictions are hurting, especially now that the weather's turned. When we had outdoor dining, we were getting by okay, but now it's getting a bit more challenging, and we're just trying to keep people employed and do so in a safe manner for our employees and our customers. And if I don't know, the restrictions are challenging, and it's I would sorry, I thought I had a little more time. When the bar was open, when people were allowed to sit at the bar, we created a very safe environment for both our employees and our customers. And taking away that restriction because other bars down south or wherever else were taking more than they're not following the rules, I don't think Sussex County should be governed, but like the rest of the state. We've been doing very well through this, and we should be allowed to make decisions with our businesses, whatnot, as we see fit. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Our next caller is Stacy Fry from Lafayette.
Hi. I also want to further support Tammy, Mark, and Jason's comments. I'm calling on behalf of the Lafayette House Restaurant, and just in support of allowing small businesses to make their own decisions and trust that they're going to do the right thing to keep their employees and their customers safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. We appreciate it. Okay. Can I have a motion to close the public comment, please?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second?
Hertzberg, second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, and now we're at number 9 on freeholder comments. I'm going to begin with freeholder Pisano, please.
Good morning, and thank you, Director Patillo, and thanks to all who are joining us this morning. I had the privilege of participating in Sussex County's 13th annual Stuff the Bus food drive last weekend, and it was truly amazing to watch. I know we haven't finished counting and sorting, but I think we broke a record in donations, and that's a testament to the generosity in our communities. So thank you to everyone who participated. I'm so proud to be from a place where we look out for each other. So thank you, Sussex County. All contributions will go directly to Sussex County residents and family who are in need as we approach the holiday season. It has been well documented that COVID-19 cases are on the rise in New Jersey, and Sussex County is no exception to that. We have a strong group of dedicated health professionals here in Sussex County who are committed to your health and well-being. Remember, especially now, to stay safe and take necessary precautions to protect your health and the health of others. Sussex County is collaborating with LabCorp to offer free at-home COVID-19 testing to residents 18 and over. You can visit sussex.nj.us to learn more and to request this test. We'll continue to monitor and update the activity of this virus as we continue to fight this collective fight together to defeat it. And finally, we all know the holidays are approaching, and there probably hasn't been a more important time than now to support your local businesses. I want to remind our residents and our businesses of our collaborative interactive business map, which is available right on the county website. And this interactive map was developed by the county in partnership with the Sussex County Chamber of Commerce and the Sussex County Economic Development Partnership. And it is designed for every business within the county to list its information, its reopening status, and any other useful information so that our residents know how and when they can support their favorite local businesses who most certainly have had a tough year and could really use your support. So thank you, Director Patillo. That concludes my report, and I wish everyone a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Next is freeholder Josh Hertzberg, please.
Thank you, Sylvia. I'm going to start out by addressing some of the businesses. We know more now and should be taking appropriate precautions without overreacting. We can prevent the spread without ruining people's livelihoods. We can inform people of the risks, asking them to respect others without trampling the Constitution. This is a stress test for our Constitution. When people are scared, it seems like the political reaction is to take people's rights away and give government more power. That's pretty much the opposite of what should happen. We cannot let fear drive these decisions. We need to have well thought out and balanced decisions. Our local business owners and our local residents should have the ability to make their own decisions. It should be our job to give them the latest and best information so they can make good decisions for themselves, for their families, and for their businesses. It's not in anybody's interest for businesses to operate in an unsafe manner. They know that. But when government thinks they know better than everyone, that's when we start to have problems. So, I applaud our Tri-County effort. I know, I don't know of any of us that would like to see more restrictions. I know we wish it went further. I wish they gave us more authority to make local decisions. But I know, at least for me, I want to give the local businesses and our local business owners the most ability we can to have them be successful. I've been out there, I've been at restaurants, I've been at the stores, and I've seen all the precautions they're all taking. They're doing the right thing. And I hope that Trenton continues to let us have more authority over what goes on in our county. And I feel like I have the ability to speak on that a little more now that I've been in the county's contact tracing process twice. I want to commend our health department. I think they are doing a fantastic job. All this was thrown at them. We were not able to ramp up personnel in a way where they have the proper amount of people needed to do what they're doing. They're doing it with hard work. I was in the contact tracing process while my Little League football team had a coach that tested positive, and we had to put two full teams in a status where my team had to miss their championship game for fear of some of the team having COVID and spreading it to another town. But fortunately, the county did a great job, and they were able to look at the situation, assess the person that had it, and say that, well, they were outdoors, they weren't so close to anyone, and released all those kids and all those families from being on lockdown during the holidays. So I really appreciate our county health department doing those due diligence to not just blanket put everybody on lockdown and ruin people's holidays when it's not necessary. Because that's the easy way to do it. And they're not doing that. They're trying to help people know exactly what the risks are and who's at risk and who's not. Unfortunately, the second time I was under contact tracing was because I tested positive. When I came back and found out that one of our coaches had been exposed, I immediately went and took a test and put myself in lockdown and ended up coming up positive. Although I feel fine and I don't feel sick as maybe some other people have had those flu-like symptoms, I'm still going to do what I need to do to keep others and my family safe, because that's my choice. I don't want to go out and infect anyone else, so I'm going to stay home. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. So I again appreciate the county's work in that. And again, to our local businesses, we're going to continue to fight for the right for our local businesses to safely operate. We're going to continue to fight for the rights of our county residents to make good, sound, and informed decisions for themselves and for their families. But we will fight for the right, for everyone to make their decisions on themselves and not for Trenton to make those decisions for us. And that's all I have today, Sylvia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Deputy Director Dawn Fantasia, please.
Thank you. Well, I couldn't agree more with Hunterdon County Freeholder Lanza and Warren County Deputy Freeholder Director Kern and all of our speakers on the call this morning. In my opinion, our businesses have suffered enough. They've been strangled by arbitrary policies passed via executive order with no legislative oversight. Our three northwestern counties have petitioned for months now for a regional approach to reopening. And to me, every business is essential when it's putting food on the table and a roof over the head of your family. My heart breaks for the families who continue to lose sleep and lose their livelihoods and lose faith in their elected officials. I've been clear since day one. The governor continues to pick winners and losers. He misfired calling weapons and ammunition shops non-essential. And I also remember a time where he extended so-called liberties to individual municipalities with the so-called Immigrant Trust Directive, where he said nothing in the directive would further restrict counties and towns from enacting even stricter blocks. So this is just creating an illusion that locally we'll somehow have a say in how things are going. Pardon my crassness, but it's kind of like asking us, well, would you like this turd sandwich on a bagel or a roll? It's not a choice at all. To me, this is all smoke and mirrors, pretending to give local control over something to further choke out our businesses, and I don't support playing that game. To me, I feel that it is the duty of this board and every elected official to support our businesses to do the right thing, to stay safe, but altering times of openings and closings to me is ludicrous. It's smoke and mirrors. And I am so sorry. I am so sorry this is happening to our businesses. And I know this board does stand in solidarity to do everything and anything we possibly can to help you fight for your rights. And thank you to Mark Avendolio for pointing out that 10 p.m. issue for New Year's Eve. That's something I've never thought of, but now it's on my radar. So I promise you I will follow that up with this board and down in Trenton as well. So moving on to other county business, I'd like to start out thanking Jeff Parrott and the clerk's office. I spoke with the clerk yesterday regarding some really great news that we received. We received the financial report, and his budget runs, through November. And the clerk's office is, even with the vote by mail initiative and all of the extra workload that came with the vote by mail this year, the office came in over $50,000 under budget. And that was due to his careful and targeted allocation of staff. And they worked really hard on a rotating schedule. And the clerk's office has just done an outstanding job in the face of, really, really challenging directives that came in the 11th hour. So thank you. Thank you to that office and all the employees. Assemblyman Parker Space, along with Senator Steve Oraho and Assemblyman Hal Wirtz, did announce that S-238, which was a law that revised governing the training and duties of junior firefighters, auxiliary members, was enacted. So this will allow junior firefighters to be able to do the on-scene support and specific training they've done for many years. And it was brought to the attention of Assemblyman Space by our Sussex County Fire Marshal, Virgil Rome, and V. Rumsey, who's the grandmother of a female junior firefighter. And Assemblyman Space had stated that experience as a junior firefighter wouldn't only encourage teenagers to become a volunteer firefighter where they live, but could also encourage them to become professional firefighters in some larger cities. So again, our volunteer corps here in Sussex County is so vital to keeping our residents safe. And thank you to D24 for recognizing that and enacting something based upon local suggestion. We appreciate that. For any farmers or ranchers whose operations have been directly impacted by the coronavirus pandemic, President Trump and the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue, announced that the USDA is implementing Coronavirus Food Assistance Program 2 for agricultural producers who continue to face market disruptions and associated costs because of COVID-19. There's a call center that's available for producers who would like one-on-one support in the application process. So if you're interested, you can call 877-508-8364 to speak directly with a USDA employee who can offer you assistance. And you can also visit the USDA website to actually apply for that. Now, I would like to give you some updates from our county health department. As you know, our current COVID-19 Northwest region activity level is now high. A greater portion of the state is now considered in code orange. So I can say that last week's report that ran from the 14th to the 20th, and we always released a weekly report on Fridays, the county had reported 316 cases of COVID-19, with 19 cases reassigned out of county. But I would like to update this because just from the 21st to the 23rd, Division of Health reported another 145 additional cases of COVID-19 and no new deaths of any county resident, thank God, and 7 prior reported positive cases in that number I just provided earlier have been reassigned out of the county. So again, as a reminder, they contact trace based upon your residence. However, if you were working out of state, if you're a college student that was away at school, you contracted it there and you're there, they do remove you from the role of actual active hot case at the time. So if you go on the daily reports that are released, you can see the breakdown by municipalities. So you can see just where your municipality lands that week. And to clarify a little bit from the Department of Health, they're again linking multiple cases to individuals under the age of 18. Majority of those present as asymptomatic, and most of the cases are related to school activities and sports-related events, traced to social gatherings of school-age children. Multiple household clusters end up originating as a result of that. Also, some cases are linked to employment, whether it be in the county or out of the county, and residents who go back and forth between counties. Currently, there are 7 outbreak cases open in our long-term care facilities, which are something that requires serious attention from the state and from the county. Cases are investigated and close contacts are traced 7 days a week from our public health nursing. They do a fantastic job with follow-up. Now, again, we don't have any reported deaths this month, thank God. We had 1 reported death in the prior month of October, and prior to that, our last reported COVID-19 related fatality was on the 14th of August. As per the state report by way of hospitalizations, we have 10 reported hospitalizations of Sussex County residents in the month of November, with 8 at Newton Medical Center and 2 were at Morristown Medical Center. To compare, it's kind of even, I would say, if we're looking at a ratio. In the month of October, there was a total of 14 reported hospitalizations. So as of right now, in total, from the start of this, the county has 2,655 reported cases. 2,078 have been classified as recovered. 198 fatalities in total. The remaining are under investigation. Now, I want to talk a little bit, expand a little bit on what Freeholder Fasano was sharing regarding testing. First of all, the Sussex County Office of Emergency Management is in receipt of 6,400 rapid test kits from the New Jersey Department of Health, which are available to county long-term care facilities. As we said, it's very, very important that we have swift action to be able to contain any outbreaks in these facilities. And long-term care facilities can request these kits via the Office of Emergency Management as directed. There's a protocol to request those testing materials. Now, as far as Sussex County residents, as Freeholder Fasano stated, there is the at-home COVID-19 testing kits available. There's also a few other options for Sussex County residents. First of all, Newton Urgent Care provides COVID-19 testing by appointment only. Patients must call 973-383-9898, and you can do a virtual visit evaluation, and then you can obtain your scheduled testing time. There's also a Sussex County site testing map that you can go on the county website and click, and there's also a New Jersey State Test Finder as well on the state COVID website. But just to give you a little more information about that, there is testing in Sussex County in Franklin, Lake Hopatcong, Sparta, Stanhope, Newton, and testing for veterans is available at the Sussex VA Medical Clinic in Newton. And if you have any further questions, you can contact the Sussex County Division of Health, and their number is 973-579-0370. Sussex County Office of Emergency Management and Sheriff Mike Strada are interested in receiving citizen feedback on hazards of concern as they're developing an update to the County Hazard Mitigation Plan. And you can participate in the citizen survey questionnaire on the county website and the county Facebook page. And the public's input is valued and it's critical. So please visit and give your feedback for the OEM. Also, the Sheriff's Department is pleased to announce the promotion of Sheriff's Detective Corporal Scott Haggerty to Sergeant in the Sussex County Sheriff's Office Bureau of Law Enforcement. He's a lifelong resident of Sussex County, graduate of High Point Regional High School. He's a lifetime member of the Wantage Township Fire Department, and he's a former fire chief as well. So we congratulate him on his service and his promotion. The Sussex County Arts and Heritage Council has a couple updates. We're talking about supporting local businesses. So they are having a members virtual art exhibition and sale. It's called Small Works and Holiday Gifts. And what happens is local artists actually submitted JPEG files to the Arts and Heritage Council, which they uploaded on their website. And the sale actually goes live today. And you can buy artwork from local artisans from November 24th to December 31st. And if you select an item to purchase, the council will arrange with you a time to actually pick up the original artwork at the gallery by appointment. So you're aware the gallery does remain closed due to the governor's executive orders. The council will retain a 25% commission on each sale, so it's a nice relationship and way to support our local artists. Now, you know, I've talked also a lot about the New Jersey Senior Citizen Art Show Awards, and we can actually watch that ceremony online. It's available on YouTube. So if you visit the Sussex County Arts and Heritage Council website, you will be able to take a look and see our winners. As you know, Sussex County had quite a few winners this year. So that concludes my report. I wish everybody a very safe and healthy Thanksgiving, and congratulations to all of our local elected officials who were elected just in this cycle. The election results were certified in Sussex County. So thank you again for your service to the community.
Thank you very much, Dawn. I only have one item I want to read during comments, and I'll save my other comments for the resolution when we address that. In social services, as Freeholder Fasano mentioned, iHeartRadio hosted the 13th annual Stuff the Bus food drive this past weekend to benefit the Sussex County Food Pantry. And First Hope Bank hosted a cash donation event on Friday, and the ShopRite locations of Sparta, Newton, Franklin, and Byram hosted food drives on Saturday and Sunday. Sparta, Paccon, and Byram Police Departments assisted with the food collection, and I want to thank them because they do this every year. The important thing is this. If anyone is in need of food for themselves or their family, or if you know someone that is in need of food, please contact the Division of Social Services at 973-383-3600. The agency is located at 83 Spring Street in Newton, and we provide food to those in need from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Please let us know if someone is in need of food. We have plenty of food donated by the community. So thank you very much. Now we're going to move on from comments, and we're going to go to number 10, which is the approval of the consent agenda from A to D. The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex has reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that adoption of the said resolution is in and will further the public interest. If any freeholder would like to remove an item to be considered separately, please do so now. Is there anyone that would like to remove an item? Not hearing any, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda from A to D, please?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second?
Hertzberg, second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any. Terry, a roll call, please.
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo?
Yes. We're on number 11, the approval of minutes, and we can take both together. We have the regular meeting, November 10th, 2020, and executive session minutes, November 10th, 2020. Can I please have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting and the executive session?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second, please.
Second,
please.
Anthony.
Okay, any discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Number 12 are the appointments and resignations. We do not have any this evening, so we can move right on to number 13, which is resolutions from A to I. May I please have a motion to move the resolutions from A to I, to adopt them, please?
Fantasia, so moved.
Thank you. A second?
Hertzberg, second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any. Roll call, please, Terry.
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo?
Yes. We're on number 14, awards of contract change orders and bids. The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex has reviewed the award of contract change orders bids consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that adoption of the said resolutions is in and will further the public interest. Can I please have a motion to approve contracts A through I?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second, please.
Second, Hertzberg.
Any discussion? Not hearing any. Terry, a roll call, please.
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder
Thank you.
Director Patillo.
Yes. Number 15, financial resolution, the payment of the bill list for November 24th, 2020. May I please have a motion to approve the bill list?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second, please.
Second, Hertzberg.
Is there any discussion? Not hearing any. Could I have a roll call vote, please, Terry?
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo.
Yes. That was number 16. Terry?
Wait,
That was
you,
the payment of bills.
now you go to 16. You did the
Okay,
payment
now
of
I'm on
bills.
personnel. Thank you. I lost my place. Okay, personnel is a resolution authorizing personnel agenda of November 24th, 2020. Can I have a motion to adopt the personnel agenda, please?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second?
Second, Hertzberg.
Any discussion? Not hearing any. Roll call, please, Terry.
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo.
Yes. Okay, number 17, we have an administrative report for our business administrator, Greg Pop.
Thank you, Director. Just quickly, we continue to work on the development of the 2021 county operating and capital projects budget. We will have more in the weeks to come and have a report back to the budget subcommittee sometime in the middle of December. Also, I'm working with the emergency preparedness team to continue the full implementation of the county's testing plan as approved by the State Department of Health. And we continue to work with the State Department of Health in the development of the vaccination plan that will be implemented at such time that vaccinations become available for the COVID-19 vaccine. And that concludes my report. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that was number 17. We don't have anything for 18. 19, is there any unfinished business with the freeholders that you'd like to address? Okay, not hearing any. We're under number 20. Now, let me just say, at 20, we're going to discuss the resolution establishing a business non-interference policy in Sussex, and I'm going to let the public speak on this again. And then after that, we have number 21, which is our public session on the floor, and people can speak on any issue that they want to speak on. Okay, so we're almost there. So now we're looking at the resolution establishing a business non-interference policy in Sussex County, and I'd like to read that resolution. Whereas on November 12, 2020, New Jersey's governor enacted Executive Order number 195, delegating authority to counties and municipalities to regulate the operating hours of non-essential businesses after 8 p.m. to manage the recent surge in the coronavirus. And whereas the governor's previous order shutting down businesses throughout the state earlier in the year and restricting the reopening has resulted in the closing of many businesses, tens of thousands of lost jobs, and economic devastation across New Jersey. And whereas businesses presently in operation in Sussex County already require customers and employees to wear masks, observe social distancing, following health mandates as directed by the state government and the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC. And whereas the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders believe that private businesses know far better than government how to ensure the protection of the health of their customers and employees while still being economically feasible. And whereas additional restrictions placed on private businesses, particularly restaurants and other small retailers, could result in their permanent closure, which will lead to greater economic harm and additional layoffs, and the devastation of local downtowns for years to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders that no action will be taken by the county to interfere with, reduce the hours of, or close down private businesses in Sussex County under the circumstances authorized by Executive Order number 195. Now, many of our freeholders have already spoken on this resolution. Is there anyone that would like to speak again? Anthony?
Yes. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you. I do support this resolution, and I believe now is absolutely not the time, and I mean that in every way, to further regulate local businesses in Sussex County. Our local businesses have been given more mandates and regulations than they have ever seen already. Businesses currently operating in Sussex County already require customers and employees to wear masks, observe social distancing and indoor-outdoor limits, follow all the health mandates as directed by the state government and the CDC, which has and will continue to change. I've also seen the plans of many local businesses to comply with these mandates, and I was quite impressed with how seriously our business community is taking on that challenge of protecting the health of their employees and their customers. There was a point made this morning, and I think it's absolutely correct, that nobody understands consumer confidence more than our business community. Certainly, any level of government does not understand consumer confidence as well as any business, big or small. And I'm aware that additional restrictions, particularly on smaller businesses, will absolutely lead to further economic harm and perhaps additional layoffs. And for those reasons, and really those reasons alone, I don't believe Sussex County should be taking any further action right now to interfere with local businesses at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Freeholder Hertzberg, did you want to say anything else?
No, not at this time. Thank you, Sylvia. I already said my piece.
Freeholder Fantasia? Dawn, did you want to say anything
I think
else?
I was fair. I'm sorry, something is going on with my phone. I apologize. Like I said, I think I was clear about my support of small businesses in this situation. New Jersey as a whole is ranked number 50. Just this year, State Business Tax Climate Index, right, alone. New Jersey's number 50 of 50 states. On corporate tax, sales tax, property tax, individual income tax. We are the bottom of the barrel. We've pushed out more large businesses across the state. I mean, we lost Mercedes, Hertz, Procter & Gamble, Progresso, Ocean Spray, and now our small businesses are being choked out by these arbitrary orders. I don't know if this governor has a death wish for our businesses, but our board does not. So again, I absolutely stand with Hunterdon County and Warren County to never initiate any of these elective further restrictions on businesses that have the good sense and the good safety knowledge of how to manage their businesses properly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would just like to say that our businesses in Sussex County are all essential, and they are the backbone of our communities. Sussex County freeholders have long been in favor of small business in our county. We have taken every opportunity to stand with our business sector and work closely with the Sussex County Chamber of Commerce. We continually look for new ways and new resources that will help support and sustain small businesses during these difficult times. I feel that it's imperative that our businesses are permitted to remain open in a manner that enables them to remain financially viable. That is why I am in support of the resolution to take no action to interfere with the existing hours for our businesses or close down businesses throughout Sussex County. Okay, having said that, I would like to have a motion to open up comment from the floor. So can I please have a motion to open for public comment?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second?
Second, Hertzberg.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. For everyone on this conference call that would like to speak on this resolution, we're going to handle it the same way we handle the other open comments. Just one by one, give us your name and the municipality where you live. Then we'll make a list, and we'll call each one in that order, and you can speak for 3 minutes. So could we please begin just by giving us your name and municipality?
Peggy Burns,
Yeah,
Hackettstown, New Jersey.
Okay, Peggy, thank you. Next.
Dean Boyd, Andover Township.
Next.
Donna Rodriguez, Stanhope.
Next.
Diane Scanlon, Hopakon.
Next.
Tracy Boyle, Hopakon.
Sherry, did you get that?
Is it Tracy Boyle, Hopakon?
Yes.
Okay.
Cheryl Pittenger, Hampton.
Christy Levin, Hardiston.
Anyone else?
Cheryl Pittenger, Hampton.
I heard you earlier, Ms. Pittenger. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Anyone else? Okay. If this is about the abortion issue, that's next. That's after this. This is just about talking about businesses. Okay. So, Terry, you want to begin, please?
The first caller was Ms. Peggy Burns from Hackettstown.
I'm sorry, I would like to speak on both. I think that putting any restrictions on our small businesses is just absurd at this point. I feel that people are struggling to make it in their community, and if they have a small business, they're here to serve the community. So any more restrictions on businesses is just absolutely ludicrous. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy.
Next caller is Dean Boyd from Andover Township.
Good morning. I live in Andover Township. I also have an insurance agency in Newton. So I come in contact with many small businesses in the community. And I want to thank and applaud the Freeholders for taking their position with non-interference. As everybody has said, everybody understands we can't take any more restrictions at this point. And I would encourage you, whatever means are within our legal abilities, to push back as much as possible with the governor's edicts to try and free up some of the restrictions that are currently in place. As you all know, and I'm not telling anything out of hand here, but the numbers don't justify the restrictions in Sussex County. Take out the deaths from the nursing homes, and we're doing fine here, and everybody's adhering to the safety precautions. And last but not least, I think we need to start getting a push for a new Republican governor. Don't know if any of the Freeholders have any interest there, but you have a lot of support here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next caller is Donna Rodriguez from Stanhope.
Yes, I wanted to speak about the abortion issue, but I also have 2 cents on this issue as well, if you don't mind. I do also agree and appreciate the stand of the Freeholders, and the restriction on these small businesses is beyond the wisdom and the authority of our government. I could not agree more that we need to get people in government and a governor who cares for these small businesses. And having these businesses shut down is not helping them. It is not helping the community. And it is certainly having nothing short of a devastating effect on our community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next caller, the last name is Scanlon with Hopakon. I apologize. I didn't get the first name.
Diane.
Diane?
Yes.
All right. You are ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I just want to say, like everybody else, I feel the restrictions really need to be lifted. Where we live, these people, they are, depending on these monies, and we can't go on any longer. So restrictions really need to be lifted. Yes. When using. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next caller is Tracy Boyle from Hopakon.
Hi, yes, thank you for letting me speak. Yes, and of course I concur with everybody that has spoken, and I do my heart goes down for these people, and they are in my prayers, and we just try to do as much as we can by even ordering from these places, these little places, so they can stay in business, and I hope everybody else would do the same thing, so we can come together with them and try to help them economically too. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Our next caller is Cheryl Pittenger from Hampton.
Good morning, and thank you also for allowing me to speak. I would like to speak on both issues. One of my coworkers and very good friend has just opened a business a year ago, and they are struggling beyond words. And it's very, very sad that, you know, the lifelong dream of them having their own restaurant would be hampered by these restrictions that are being put on. This is a family of Italians that came over from Italy, and this is their son who is, doing their dream as well as they had their restaurant. And now this is, putting such a big damper on them, and I would hate for them, along with all the others that are out there that may or probably will have to close because, the government is just putting these restrictions on. I believe that it should be each county or municipality or to the owners to remain safe. They know what to do, and I just hope that they'll be allowed to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next caller is Christy Levin from Hardiston.
Hi. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I actually visited a small business owner today. I bought breakfast for my family, and I asked him about his take on what was going on, both with the school closures and also, the impact to his business. And his take on it was he was hoping the vaccine would really be a game changer, but ultimately he wants, people, of course, to be safe. And, hearing today the members from the business community, it really made me think maybe that there's some way that we can organize to help them. But we have to be realistic in what we can and cannot control. If additional restrictions do occur, rather than fight something we can't control, maybe we can find ways that we can collectively help the restaurants. Maybe like on the Freeholders website, there can be a page listing local restaurants and ways that they're moving to online orders or something of that nature. And as a community, I believe that we all feel for small business owners. Perhaps we can find additional funding for them, because ultimately what they need is they need patrons and they need funding. And hopefully on a local level, there's some way that we can be of assistance for them if ultimately this is what we're going to be facing. Thank you.
Director Patillo, if I can respond to the caller. There has been a list that is updated by the Chamber of Commerce that is shared. It's on their website. I know I put it when they update it on social media for the Freeholders. We don't have, our own government social media page per se. There is a Sussex County government page, but they do share I'm sorry. The Sussex County government page does share the updates from the Chamber of Commerce when they do update their restaurant lists and who's delivering and where you can pick up. That's been there for a few months now, quite a few months now. And then again, as far as funding goes, we are very, very hopeful that more CARES funds will be released and sent to the counties and the municipalities, and also for direct aid to businesses. There's actually, they're asking for an emergency session in Trenton to address that so that the funding does directly come to the businesses. So we are extraordinarily hopeful that the funds do come and make their way. So just to give you that update.
Thank you.
And so, Sylvia, I'd like to also add that the county did partner with the chamber to create an interactive database that is on the website. Tammy can speak to whether it's on their website or not, but it actually shows all the businesses, services that they are doing or not doing, times when they're open or not open. So that was already created and is already in use.
Is that on the same? If I could just touch on that, if I may, am I allowed to do that? It's Tammy.
Yes, please do, Tammy.
Yeah, we actually are updating all of that information on a weekly basis. We update all the restaurants as well, any specials, discounts, and offers for anyone in any business in the entire county. It's not related only to a membership or anything. The map as well was a great partnership with the County of Sussex, and we continue to encourage our businesses to sign themselves up there. So if anyone out there knows of a business that's not on the map, it's certainly not because we don't want them there. It's because they haven't yet provided their information, and they actually do that themselves on the GIS map. They can either go to the county website or they can go to the chamber website or the Economic Development Partnerships website and be able to pick up that information, which is provided on a regular basis. My staff work weekly to collect that information and continue to update it regularly. Thanks.
And I saw online there were other groups that when all this happened with the pandemic, they were seeking to support local small businesses, and I thought it was really awesome. But I think that there's all small different groups doing it, but that's great. So if the chamber and the county are the biggest entities doing it, then that's probably the best way to go, and then pointing people in that direction. Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to share that info.
Thank you, Kim, very much. I would just like to say that the Freeholders have been fighting for our businesses since this began. There has been quite an injustice done to many business owners that have invested in our community and are unable to continue. And like Tammy said initially, that they're holding on by a thread. So we really want to help businesses during this season. They have their inventory for Christmas out. The restaurants are decorated. Go out to dinner. If you don't want to go out to dinner, order a dinner and take out. You know, if you can buy a gift here throughout Sussex County and help our businesses, then please do that instead of going to Amazon. If we work as a community, if we believe what we say, then we're going to put our money out there and help them survive during these difficult times. So I want to thank everybody that was on this call to speak on this issue. I thank you for speaking. And I do wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving, but I do wish a successful season for all of our businesses, and that depends on us. Their customer base are local residents. So I just hope that everybody will consider maybe changing their list and shopping throughout Sussex County. Okay, could I please have a motion to bring it back to the board?
Fantasia, so moved.
A second, please.
Second, Hertzberg.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 So I've closed the public comment, and now we are going to, I need a motion to approve the resolution establishing a business non-interference policy in Sussex County. You have that motion?
Fantasia, so moved.
Okay, a second?
Second, Hertzberg.
Terry, would you just take a roll call vote on that, please?
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo?
Yes. And thank you everyone again for your patience and for speaking on the issue. I'm going to move to number 21.
Support.
Thank you, Tammy, for everything that you do. You have been absolutely amazing. You're always amazing, but you have pulled businesses together. You've enabled us to work with you, all in the desire to make sure that our businesses can remain open and successfully continue to be financially sound. So thank you for all the Chamber has done.
And thank you. We're all in this together.
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to move to number 21. This is our last public session from the floor, and you can speak on anything. This public session is for general questions or comments, and before we open again, we're going to do it the same way. Just ask for your name and for your municipality, and we'll make a list. Can I have a motion from the Freeholder Board, please, to open for public comment?
Fantasia, so moved.
Can I have a second, please?
Second, Hertzberg.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, I know that there are people on our call that want to speak on the Reproductive Freedom Act. I'm going to read that resolution because it was passed at our last meeting, and I want to make sure that all of you understand the points associated with this bill. So if you'll just bear with me for a minute, I'll read the whole resolution. Whereas the New Jersey Reproductive Freedom Act was introduced in the Senate on October 8, 2020 as S-3030 and in the Assembly on October 20, 2020 as Assembly A-4848. And whereas S-3030A 4848 will make New Jersey a destination for those seeking abortion without restriction, promote human trafficking, and create an unreasonable financial burden on New Jersey taxpayers by explicitly guaranteeing that financial barriers do not prevent anyone from making their own personal health decisions when it comes to birth control and pregnancy-related care, including abortion. The bill will apply to all residents and those who come to this state, including those who are incarcerated or present in the state illegally. So this bill allows the state of New Jersey taxpayers to pay for abortions for people out of state. You don't have to be a resident. You don't have to live in New Jersey. Whereas this bill will permit all abortions, including late-term abortions, throughout the entire 9 months of pregnancy. And whereas this bill enshrines in law that living babies in the womb capable of feeling pain have no rights at any stage of pregnancy, even if they are viable and at full term. The bill specifically states that a fertilized egg, embryo, or fetus shall not have independent rights under the laws of this state. And whereas this bill invalidates existing laws and prohibits the future adoption of all laws, rules, regulations, ordinances, resolutions, policies, standards, or parts thereof that conflict with the provisions of this bill. And whereas this bill removes medical community oversight by expressly invalidating all rules and regulations promulgated by the New Jersey Board of Medical Examiners, which regulate and apply exclusively to termination of pregnancy. And whereas this bill puts women in danger by permitting non-physicians to perform abortions and restricts individual freedom of choice by invalidating New Jersey's Conscience Clause, which has been in effect since 1974, which protects the right of individuals to refuse to perform or assist in abortion procedures. And whereas this bill voids the New Jersey Safe Haven Infant Protection Act by exempting from prosecution individuals charged with terminating or attempting to terminate the individual's own pregnancy, or acting or failing to act in any manner with respect to the individual's own pregnancy, based on the potential or actual impact on the individual's own health or pregnancy. The bill eliminates the requirement that a medical legal death investigation to be conducted in a case where a fetal death occurs without medical attendance. Such language grants immunity from prosecution for cases including but not limited to the prom mom, where infants have been born alive and left to die, or through a deliberate act are killed. And whereas this bill imposes an undue financial burden on taxpayers by mandating an annual allocation of taxpayer funding of Planned Parenthood, a private entity, under Title X in the state budget. And whereas this bill will impose higher premiums on health care for state residents by requiring all insurance carriers to provide coverage for abortions. And whereas this bill gives the state the power to define what is or isn't a religion by requiring religious employees to request an exclusion from abortion-related health care coverage if the required coverage conflicts with the religious employer's religious beliefs and practices as determined by the state. So those are the items that were included in this resolution that we passed. So right now, I have the floor open. Could you please once again just state your name and your municipality if you'd like to speak on this issue?
Peggy Burns. From Hackettstown mailing address.
Okay, next.
Donna Rodriguez, Stanhope.
Diane, I'll pass on.
I'm sorry, Diane, what was the last name?
Scanlon.
Okay, sorry, that was so packed on. It cuts off for some reason.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Next.
Christy Lynn Hardison. And this could be any issue, right? This is public session?
Yes, this is the second public session, Christy. Okay, that was Hardison. All right.
Yeah, I'm just letting everybody speak first on the abortion issue because I know there's people on the line, and then I'll open it up to anything you want to talk about.
Oh, okay. So I'll wait for the abortion first then.
Okay. Is there anyone else?
Cheryl
Tracy
Pittenger.
One at a time. I'm sorry. Who is Cheryl first?
Cheryl Pittenger, Hampton.
And the other caller?
Tracy Boyle.
And Tracy, I'm sorry, the municipality, I turned my page.
Hopakon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, Terry, would you call people, please?
Our first caller is Ms. Peggy Burns with Hackettstown.
Hi. Yes, I would like to thank Director Patillo and the board for passing this resolution, as it's such an important one. I'm talking about the Reproductive Freedom Act. I'm totally against this act. I feel like it's removing the responsibility of a person to be responsible at the cost of a child's life. This is murder, and it should be opposed. They call it a personal health decision. It's not a decision on the people that are paying for it through our taxes. I feel like this governor has a death wish, not only on businesses, as someone said prior, but I feel like it's at the cost of a life, death in all situations that he is bringing to the table. I feel like these restrictions need to be, removed from our responsibility. He's saying that we are restricted from making the choice on these things, and they're just posing acts as they feel like it. Our taxpayers should be all made aware that this is coming out of our taxpayer money, and I'm opposed to it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And next?
Yes, our next caller is Donna Rodriguez from Stanhope.
Yes, I just want to state that I am opposed and appalled by this Reproductive Freedom Act. My first comment is, where is the freedom for these babies? This is nothing short of murder, murdering precious life, murdering babies. I am speaking out on behalf of these babies that are living, breathing human beings that do not have a voice. This is flat out murdering of these babies. It's an abomination to humanity, and it is no doubt one of the many poor choices of Governor Murphy. As a human being, as a woman, and as a mother, I am opposed to this act. There are too many alternative solutions to women not able to raise these babies that would not take these babies' precious lives and would not cause the residents of New Jersey to be forced to pay for this abomination. As one of the gentlemen said earlier, I will do whatever I can, including running myself, to put a governor in leadership of our state that is for life and for the people of this great state. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much.
Our next caller is Diane Scanlon from Hopakon.
Yeah. I just have to reiterate what Donna had to say. I'm appalled that this would even be up for discussion. The thought of leaving a baby to die, or abortion up to 9 months is just unbelievable. And what doctor could even do this, right? Or being able to give permission to somebody for a non-professional, it's just unbelievable that we even have this up for discussion in this day. Okay? This cannot be used as a form of birth control. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Christy Levin, would you like to speak regarding that resolution, or wait and then I call the next caller, Ms. Pittenger?
If it's okay, I'd like to wait because what I was planning to speak to is something different.
Okay, thank you. Our next caller then is Cheryl Pittenger from Hampton.
Yes, good morning. I am happy to voice my opinion about this, and I, like the other ladies, are totally appalled by this. I cannot believe that this is even being brought into, to be up for consideration, that they would take a 9-month-old innocent baby life. I too believe that this is not a form of birth control. I do believe also that there are many alternatives. I am a foster parent. I adopted my son because I couldn't have a baby. And I have just recently had his niece in my home from his 19-year-old sister. She is 10 months old right now, and she was offered abortion and strongly encouraged to that. And that little precious baby would not be alive today if they were allowed to do this. This is insane. And I, for one, would not have been a mother had the adoption not been offered to me. If his mother had, aborted him at 9 months or even earlier that, at any point, I would not have had the pleasure and the honor of being a mom. And the people that want to do this, it can't be an easy out. If you don't want to have the child, then let somebody else who does want to have a child. And as far as the rights of the taxpayers, for those of us who don't agree with this, I don't think it's right for us to be forced to pay taxes or for our premiums to go up, to be forced to pay for something we don't agree with. This is just an all-time low. Just when you think things can't get any worse, something like this comes up. This does not need to be passed, and I, for one, would do everything I could to stand up against it and to stop this as well. Thank you.
1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I apologize. I just hopped onto the meeting. May I be added to the public speakers list?
Okay, just 1 second. Let me first call the next caller, and then we have another caller after that, and what is your first name?
Zoe.
All right, Zoe, just bear with me. Our next caller is Tracy Boyle from Hopatcon.
Yes, thank you again for letting me speak. And I do definitely agree with all the women what they've been saying. I also, this might be a little unconventional, but I just had like a dream last night, and maybe, you know what, it was a nightmare. And what I had, I woke up really upset. I just saw a sea of babies, dead babies in the ocean, just a sea of them. And it just kind of pulled me back to the Holocaust. And I'll get to that in a minute. But I just am appalled by this. I think it's an abomination against God. We know that it's murder. There's no way it's not murder. And it just upset me because I just know that I feel like these babies are being sacrificed just like they were in the biblical times. We are actually sacrificing these babies to these evil people, these evil things that are being done. I believe it's evil, and I just know that this should not be happening. Also, I am upset that these parents can't even be notified of these children, even they're not even of age, and they can't even be notified of their child being pregnant or having these abortions. And these 9-month abortion things is ludicrous as far as I'm concerned. It is just downright murder, that a baby is fully formed and can feel this pain like the girls are saying. And yes, that we are murdering these babies in this time. And I also agree, too, that our tax money we should have a say on our tax money, on where it does go. But the most important thing is that these babies are being murdered. To me, they're being sacrifices. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I'll ask first, if you don't mind, Director, if there's any other callers on the abortion resolution, the Freedom Act resolution. Before then, I will call Christy Levin. Okay, hearing no other callers on that subject, we'll proceed then with Christy Levin from Hardiston.
Go ahead, Christy.
Hi there. First I wanted to perhaps make a suggestion. I was going to ask if it was possible to move meetings to Zoom or another platform to avoid interruption of the freeholders and those that call in to speak. The interruptions are obviously very distracting, and with maybe another platform, you'd have a greater ability to mute the callers and prevent that from occurring. I know that it's probably been frustrating for you, and for those of us that call in, it can be very distracting. So I just wanted to make that suggestion.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
No problem. Also, I thought it was important to speak to COVID, given our numbers are going up. A friend of mine is in the hospital right now, having contracted the virus for the second time. She's been incredibly careful, and yet she got it again. And this speaks to the concern that many of us have. Also, so often I at least hear comments when discussing COVID that at least there's less deaths. And of course, we all are grateful for that. Thank God. I couldn't agree more. But, what's not being listed in the report is how many people that contracted COVID now have additional health problems, such as problems with their heart or their organs. That's not being quantified. So what we do see is we see that people are listed as recovered because they lived. So that can be misleading, and also for those that are suffering with ongoing health problems, it can feel kind of insulting. So I guess what I'm saying is that I hope this board does everything in their power to protect us, and keeping in mind the complexities of this virus and its ongoing effects to many of the residents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christy. Okay, is there anyone else out there that wanted to speak? Zoe, did you have something?
Zoe Heath was waiting, Freeholders Director.
Yes, thank you. I also wanted to speak on the Reproductive Freedom Act, and before I do, I would just like to say that I am incredibly disappointed that there is a public meeting happening at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. I feel very strongly that public meetings by elected officials should be something that everyone should be able to make it to, and I know if it wasn't for a doctor's appointment, I would not be able to be in this meeting right now. But for the Reproductive Freedom Act, I was incredibly disappointed to see the misinformation spread by our elected officials in the Assembly and our freeholders, especially from our freeholders who have no jurisdiction over healthcare and reproductive rights. The Reproductive Freedom Act is something incredibly important to anyone who has to deal with reproductive health care, and I'm just disappointed in the fear-mongering that has come from our elected officials. It is a waste of taxpayer time, money, and resources, and frankly, it is not the job of our freeholders to tell women what they can and cannot do with their bodies. Thank you.
Okay, I'd just like to say something about this bill. This bill is just a bad bill. And whether you're for pro-choice or whether you're for pro-life, there are at least two things on this bill that we should all be concerned about. And one of them is the lower standard of care for women by putting women in danger by permitting non-doctors to perform abortions. This was one of the big issues when the whole abortion issue started, was that there were backroom things going on and people couldn't get the doctor care. And it's important, if you're going to have an abortion, if you're going to deliver a baby, you should have a doctor, not just assistants or other medical workers, because things can go badly very quickly. The second thing is the taxpayer funding. Our governor is out borrowing billions and billions of dollars, and we as taxpayers are now going to be paying for people's, not just their abortions, we're going to be paying for the contraceptives, we're going to be paying if they decide to deliver the baby. So on those two issues alone, I would hope people would look at this and say, you know what, there's a lot of other bad things, but these two things alone are enough to say we don't want this bill. I'm not going to argue the pro-choice and the pro-life, but I will tell you that nobody exaggerated in this resolution. These words in this resolution was taken directly from those two bills. And everything that we said on here is contained in those bills. So when you're talking about no contacting of parents, no notification, no age restrictions, when you're talking about up to the 9th month, or if you abort your own pregnancy, if the baby has no care and dies, there's no investigation, those come right from the bill. And the reason that this board supports this bill out in public is to let the public know that this bill is being placed in the hands of our legislators for a decision. Otherwise, they would not know. This has now become a topic in Sussex County because this board took an action to tell people what was happening. And truthfully, when I read this act, I would tell you that it is the most radical and egregious legislation that our representatives have ever been asked to consider in New Jersey. So it is important that people know what is being handed to our representatives and what this bill will do to these different issues in New Jersey. So Zoe, that's why we do this. No, we can't change it. No, we're not voting on it. but we can let people know. So however you feel on either side, you can contact your legislators and make sure your voice is heard. Okay, so is there any freeholder that would like to speak on any of these things? Anthony?
No, no, Sylvia, I agree with everything you just stated. I don't have anything further to add.
Thanks. Josh?
No, nothing to add. You said it perfectly. Thank you.
Thanks. Dawn?
Yes. So the proposed bill uses the title, the Reproductive Freedom Act, and the title's misleading. Flat out, it's a host to a litany of inhumane and unethical practices. It removes all regulations currently in place that protect women, invalidates provisions that require the abortions to be performed by physicians licensed to practice medicine and surgery, even on minors without parental notification. Now, make no mistake, abortion currently in the state of New Jersey can be performed on minors without parental notification. This bill doesn't change that. This bill doubles down and now says other professionals who, quote, are in the medical field other than licensed physicians can perform abortions now on minors. It expressly deletes language in current law that requires the medical, legal investigation and autopsy for a fetal death that occurs without any medical attendant. And it targets our medical professionals for refusing to provide or assist in abortion services. And the most ludicrous piece is it invalidates existing laws and prohibits the future adoption of any and all laws and regulations that conflict with the provisions of the bill. And it expressly invalidates rules and regulations promulgated by the New Jersey Board of Medical Examiners, which already regulate and apply exclusively to termination of pregnancy. So now we have legislators who are telling the New Jersey Board of Medical Examiners how to do their job. Last time I checked, I don't see many MDs that are voting on this. So to me, I thank District 24 for bringing this to our attention and making us aware of the legislation that's going to negatively impact the health and the rights and the livelihood of people right here in Sussex County, because this bill transcends the term health care, and we foot the bill. Also, there's no rights in utero for loss of life during the commission of a crime. So this board did pass that resolution, and we shared that said resolution with the governor and the state legislatures and the board of chosen freeholders and every municipality in the county. We have 140,000 residents in Sussex County, and half are women. So this does affect the county. Our voices were heard on park reopenings, on requesting the National Guard assistance to nursing homes, on discriminatory fees on firearms, on removing law enforcement presence on Election Day. So when individuals say that this is beyond our purview, I beg to differ. When we're contacted by D24 to educate the public, it's our duty to do so, and we'll continue to do so. And this issue does transcend religious beliefs. This now is an issue of science and an issue of the law. And it's inhumane, and your taxpayer dollars will be used at an exponentially higher rate than this discussion this morning with the board, and for bringing it for discussion and for a resolution. So those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing that has been bothering me. Is our governor is out borrowing billions of dollars, yet nowhere in this bill is any money being set aside for agencies that are able to help these young girls have their babies. And we have an agency, Birth Haven, in Sussex County that does just that. They're a 501c, and they work with young girls who parents will not allow them, in their homes that have boyfriends are not going to help them. They're all alone, but they don't want to abort the child. They can come to Birth Haven, and they are cared for. They get medical health treatment. They are trained for jobs, and they are able to bring life to that child. I mean, you would think that if you're so bent on abortions, that you would also have money for those that want to keep the baby. But never. There's never money set aside for these agencies. So I want to thank everybody who spoke and remained on this line all morning, and for both sides. And call and contact your legislators and tell them how you feel about this bill. And I want to thank the freeholders for agreeing on exactly what Dawn said. We are going to continue to make sure that our taxpayers and our residents are aware of legislation that is going to have a negative effect, or some people feel a positive effect, either way on their lives. But they can make that decision because they will know that these bills are in the legislature looking for a vote. If we hadn't come out and taken this bill and passed this resolution, you wouldn't have known this. So we are going to continue to make sure that you're informed. And I want to thank everybody again for being on this phone call.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Can we please have a motion to close the floor to the public, please?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second.
Second, Hertzberg.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. As a reminder, please check the county's website at www.sussex.nj.us for meeting schedules. And at this time, we're going to go into an executive session. And Terry, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All righty. Whereas the subject matters about to be discussed may be excluded from the public portion of the meeting by resolution of the, excuse me, am I getting feedback? Or is that somebody speaking?
I think I hung up, I think.
Oh, okay. From the public portion of the meeting by the resolution, the board has chosen freeholders as an exception to the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, and whereas it appears necessary for the board has chosen freeholders to discuss such matters in executive session. Now therefore be it resolved that the board has chosen freeholders of the County of Sussex in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12B and NJSA 10:4-13, that the board at this time enter into an executive session from which the public shall be excluded, and be it further resolved that the general nature of the subjects to be discussed relate to the following items authorized by NJSA 10:4-12B as designated. Number 7, matters relating to litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege. We have contract negotiations, PBA 138 prosecutor, PBA 138 sheriff, and PBA 378 correction. Number 8, matters relating to the employment relationship, various appointments. Be it further resolved that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination that Sussex County Board has chosen freeholders, or provided by law that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. And be it further resolved that upon the completion of the business for which the board has entered into executive session, will the board be resuming and going back to the open, or will it adjourn from executive session?
We will be adjourning from the executive session.
Okay. So the board expects not to take formal action and therefore will adjourn the meeting from executive session. We just need the motion.
Okay. So I need a motion to adopt the executive session resolution and enter into executive session.
Fantasia, so moved.
Second.
Second, Hertzberg.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, before we go into executive session, once again, I want to thank everyone that was on this conference call and wish everyone a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Okay, we are going to executive session, so I will meet you on the next phone number. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.